What's good, Ravens fans? It's your boy Jason, and I am back in the Ravens space, going around the internet looking for things for you guys. And today might make you guys mad because we're talking about John Harbaugh. Let's jump right into it. So, you guys know I'm on the internet. I'm looking for things to talk to you guys about. And here we have a post from Super Saiyan Sandwich, and he says, John Harbaugh's Ravens have now made the playoffs 10 out of 15 years. They've also arguably been 3 plays away from making it 13 out of 15 years. The AB extension, Tyler Boyd New Year's Eve, and the Pittsburgh 2-point conversion last year. Now, I might be getting the Tyler Boyd New Year's Eve mixed up with another thing, but if I'm correct, I do believe that there was also another instance where we could have made the playoffs as well, but we got eliminated by the Bengals when AJ Green caught the Hail Mary. So that's just, what I have him popping up in my head. We've been eliminated from the postseason prior to Christmas once in 15 years. And that year was 2015. Our team died that year, including our franchise QB having his knee explode. And again, if you guys remember that year, and if I remember correctly, that was the second year we had, I believe it was Forsett. And he came off a big year before in that new zone running scheme. And we really thought that was going to take off. But it didn't take off at all. We got monster mashed. And then he says, fire Harbaugh. And then, he says, stadium got nice and warm in the third and fourth quarter with a lead today. Beautiful to clinch a playoff berth. Awesome. Happy holidays, flock. Happy holidays to you guys. And love y'all even when y'all drop me insane. Awesome. Okay. So I just want to give my opinion. Then we're going to go to the comments like we always do. Jason loves you guys. I want to hear what you guys say. So please put in the comments below. You guys know I respond to everything. But first, let's talk about the man on the screen, John Harbaugh. A couple things, guys. And I've told you guys before, I like John Harbaugh, and you guys have roasted me in the comments. I've responded. I don't run away from you guys. John Harbaugh is a great coach. I believe he is a top 5 coach in the NFL. There's only 2 coaches that are better than him, I think, without a doubt. And that's Bill Belichick and Andy Reid. Those are the only 2 for sure you can take over him, just because of their continued level of success in winning. However, I'm not saying John Harbaugh is perfect. He does have his downsides, okay? He does have his downsides. He's wed to a style that hasn't proven it can win in recent years. And because he's wed to that style, his second flaw is really tough, and it's that he can get prickly, he can get arrogant, he can have pride, and again, when you know you're right, you want to stick to it, but the results aren't there. And so those his 2 biggest weaknesses, in my opinion. Again, and I guess another weakness people will say is that he's not an expert on the offensive or defensive sides of the ball, even though he's had experience everywhere. Of course, you guys know. He, I believe, is the only coach that was primarily a special teams coach before he became a head coach. So that is something different about him that makes it great for us, right? That's how you get Justin Tucker. That's how you get Sam Cook. That's how you get a lot of these great special teams units. That's how you get a Devin Duvernay, who's great. That's how you get Jacoby Jones in your system, and he becomes an instant hit. Right. That's why. But that's special teams. And the truth is that it is the third side of the ball. So I do see that as a weakness. However, John also has some strengths. And we can talk about these strengths. Some of these strengths span his entire family. Right. One, I think that spans his entire family that we don't talk enough about is that John Harbaugh's teams are always scrappy. They always go out on their shield. And you cannot say that about every coach. Okay. The truth is that a coach team like Bill Belichick, they lose when they do things wrong, right? And we've seen that, right? When you have Tom Brady, who is a perfectionist on your team, and everyone else is doing the things right, the small things right, Bill Belichick is better than anyone at that, getting the small things right, and that has led him to where he is. But we've seen in years where a Bill Belichick team, if they're not firing on all cylinders in those small things, they fall off like they are now. The Ravens have never had that, right? The Ravens don't fall off completely unless injuries destroy them. The reason is that they don't have to win perfectly. Then almost, I would even say they choose sometimes not to, right? Based on the way they play football. So they're scrappy. His brother's teams are scrappy. It's just a scrappy bunch that we have in Baltimore. And again, great for the city because that's kind of what the city of Baltimore is. You guys know I'm a Baltimore native, born and raised. So that's kind of what it is. Another talent he has is that he connects with the players, guys. Most players like him. He is great communicating with players, not so good with fans a lot of times, and even media. But you guys remember, there was a time where Ed Reed and Ray Lewis were not vibing with John. He was trying to come in, trying to actually be, hard, make them practice, all that stuff. But he had a players only meeting with them and him, not just players only, but him and the leaders of the team. And they sorted it out, right? And he's taken those lessons and he's applied to this team where, look at what's happening in Denver, right? Denver paid Russell Wilson a lot of money to be a franchise quarterback. They're afraid to put him on the field. We have in Green Bay a couple playoffs ago where it was 4th and 3 and they chose to kick a field goal instead of trusting their players. John doesn't have that issue. John understands, hey, if it's winning time, I have to trust my players. And that's a strength, I think. And it has led to him making the playoffs 10 out of 15 years. And again, always being in the fight. There's only been one season where we're not in the fight. And so that is just what it is. I do want to hear what you guys have to say, but I also want to see what the people have to say in the comments for this post. All right, let's see. Asteroid Mike says, you don't make it 15 years in the NFL on the same team by being an idiot, and 4 out of 5 years in the Lamar area is good. And then I would like to also point out is that if everybody else is injured, if Lamar wasn't injured, we would have made the playoffs that season, which is crazy to think. Don't forget that, guys. And this is, I'm not trying to talk about Lamar here, but, John and Lamar, they go hand in hand sometimes. Remember that the Ravens were number 1 in the division. I believe they were a top 3 team in the AFC. Don't forget that. And they didn't have any running backs, any corners. Their best offensive lineman was hurt. The receivers was only Hollywood, right? Because Bateman was hurt most of the year. And then when he came back, he was, just a regular rookie. He wasn't spectacular. Prochet is the same Prochet we have now. The defense was crazy. The defensive scheme, we had no corners and we still were blitzing, 9 men. So guys, we have to understand Lamar and John were doing amazing things. Now, John without Lamar don't work. Okay. We saw what happened with John without Joe. Now, to be fair, most coaches will fail without their best player. So that's just what it is. Let's see. Let's keep on going. And like everybody said, the injuries played a big deal. Let's see what who Hash has to say. It'll be really easy to find that kind of success. Just as easy as finding a generational QB and a successful GM. Fire them all. Of course, that's satire. Again, we have the pieces, guys. We just got to keep all the pieces together and build around those pieces. For some reason, the Ravens don't want to do that quick. I don't know why. But we have a coach that's great. We have a quarterback that's great. And we have a GM team that's great. And so if we keep on drafting players and signing the players we draft, do you know, guys, all the players that are not on our team anymore who are just killing it in the league? Again, the safety position, we're doing great there. So I don't really want to say Elliott was a giant loss, but he's playing great in Detroit. We know the pass rushers, Matt Judon in New England is leading the league. The pass rusher in Green Bay now, he's also playing fantastic. So it's, a lot of things there that we have the pieces. We just have to sign the contracts and spend the money. The cap is going to only go up, guys. So let's spend the money. Let's do one more before I let you guys go. It says, some of y'all think it's a Super Bowl every year. Look at Andy Reid's career in the playoffs, 19-16 compared to Harb's 11-8. Reid is 1-3 in Super Bowls, while Harb's is 1-0. I can see why folks think there can be better coaching out there, but it's not guaranteed. The truth is, guys, there is no better coaching out there. I don't know, it's kind of like the same thing with quarterbacking, right? And Lamar. People just think, oh, get rid of Lamar, you find another quarterback. Who says? Who says? There's only been, like, for example, not the last quarterback draft, because that was really a historically bad quarterback draft, but even the one before that, Trevor Lawrence, he looks like he's going to be pretty good, and Justin Fields. There were 5 quarterbacks taken in that first round, guys, right? So the only 2 look good. Let's take the draft that Lamar was drafted in. Lamar and Josh Allen. There were 5 quarterbacks taken in that draft too. One of them's out the league, and Josh Rosen. And then the one in Carolina, he's hanging on by a thread, and Baker Mayfield is also hanging on by a thread. So, it's not guaranteed that we'll find better coaching, better quarterback play. And so this is why, guys, I think we got to keep Harbaugh, and we have to trust him. Now, he has to make changes. He has to grow. But I do think that he is the right coach for this team. I think Lamar's the right QB, and them together is a great team. So you guys let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm ready for the heat. Send it my way. Please subscribe. Please join our Discord. We had someone join it, the first person. Thank you so much, man. So please join the Discord. I'll talk to you. I'll respond, guys. You can talk to me. It's like text messaging. Like, come on, So thanks, and go Ravens.